How you guys doing? This is very important in reference to history and my mother and father's mansions and properties and companies. Look at the information of how many times these government people have intercepted letters or information or emails in reference to my mother and father's properties and companies when people have tried to send me letters. That has to be, investigated to see who's doing that. And look at the information of how many times these people have tried to murder me when I've tried to go home to my mother and father's property. And that needs to be very well known. That's kind of why it needs to be advertised in the media who I am and who my parents are, because these government people had tried to murder me, blocking me from getting home to my mother and father's mansions. And, there was so many times when I was little that the government people tried to kidnap me from the properties. I got kidnapped from my mother and father's mansions. And, it's very serious because I'm the rightful owner of the properties. I'm the only child of my mother and father. Royal protocols in the media of my identity forever. But, in reference to the information of things, look at the information, locations and properties and different cities where people had tried to kidnap me from my mother and father's property. Like they tried to kidnap me from Chicago too. And they tried to kidnap me from my mother and father's properties when I was little. When my mother and I and my mother and father, we were at property in Chicago or New York or, it's the same people that are doing this now. So if anybody was wondering why I was requesting information from properties of my mother and father, such as, maybe the lawn care company or which maids or butlers to send me letters or something, if any of them are still working there, I'm not sure what's going on. They better be alive. But, and they better be the right maids and butlers that have been there, no impersonators. It's very important. But, in reference to the history of things, people wonder, why aren't you at this place? Why aren't you at that place? Don't have any information. The bad government people have tried to murder me, blocking me from trying to get home. They know where they kidnapped me from. The Treasury has all the properties on record. Every address, every location, every city and state, even information in reference to, Europe and other countries too. And in reference to Canada and other places. So some people will say, oh, well, how come you didn't try to go here or there? Because the government tried to murder me, trying to get home. Where's the lawsuit monies on that? Where's the lawsuit monies in reference to people stealing postal mail and letters from maids or butlers or people that work at some of the properties? Does anybody know? Haven't received nothing. What was that sound? I don't know what that was. But, it's very important in reference to history. That's why it has to be advertised. That's why I need information sent to me at this location. Now, did you figure it out? Look how many times they kidnapped me from California and New York and other places, and North Carolina when I was little too. They always held me hostage in Indiana or Arkansas. They held me hostage in India. And there's even records of Texas when people tried to kidnap me and people tried to murder me when I was little. Some people have that on record too. So think about it. Somebody say, well, why should it be advertised? Because it meets all the requirements to make it into the media. And then some, it's way overdue that they were supposed to have went public with information. So if people are wondering why these people kidnapped me from the properties and then they've been blocking me from the properties. So if anybody was wondering, we need the names of the people that are blocking me from my mother and father's mansions and properties. Well, protocol's in the media 24 hours a day, and there's no way to confuse me with anybody else. So these people trying to play tricks, they're messing with my cat. They're kitty cat, and they're whimpering my cat. Usually when they do that, they either hurt her head or her shoulders or back or something, or her tailbone. The satellite man is messing with the cat. Alexa, what time and date is it?
Good morning, Mark. Today is Tuesday, November 7th.
Alexa, what's the date?
It's Tuesday, November 7th.
Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 8:31 a.m.